Hello, Orange Cat here. Another specialty case series from Sherlock Holmes, chapter 1, where I go a bit more in depth in the stuff you can check out while playing the game. This time we're gonna continue with John's diary, Cordona, and then history. The Ghost Hunter poster. Unholy howls keeping you inside in night. Yuji can help. All ghosts gone. Meet on southern pair of the Silverton Port donations gratefully accepted. So when you find this poster the first time in game, I will show quickly. Let's say let's, yeah, in this area you have to go like here. You can walk down the stairs. Then you will trigger an in-game case. Lead Zeppelin. Lead Zeppelin is a massive military airship hovering over Cordona. A blatant display of the British rule with a giant Union Jack on its side. The airship is seen from almost every vista spot on the island. Cordona's governor, Sir William Sinclair, employed all his connections in Germany, his old country, to acquire the airship and bring it to Cordona in 1880. Naturally, not everyone approved of this move. During the airship's arrival gala, a group of Ottomans gathered in Old City and marched the street protesting against the celebration of colonial rule. The protest was quickly stifled by the police. The newspaper called it a riot, but the only victim found in the aftermath was 15-year-old Eric Arad, a local cobbler's apprentice. After the incident, tensions between the Brits and the Ottomans became further strained, and more Ottomans came to see the Britons as invaders of their historical soil. Soon, a group of radicals conspired to avenge Edric and show the Brits the place by shooting down the airship. Sensing the immediate tragedy, Sherlock and I tracked these radicals to an obscure yard where we were ambushed. Dazed and confused, Sherlock still managed to take them down in a good fight. The evidence there indicated that the radicals were intending to use boat and military-grade missiles, albeit of a rather outdated kind, to bring the airship down. By the end of the day, Sherlock saved Buntley's life, but I still can't help feeling that we were the invaders in the story. The Blind Dueling Club logo. The club was founded in 1689 by August von Gram after a tour bet, and he had to kill 21 ducks on a moonless night in order to win the attention of the beautiful Lady Hedwig. Fortunately, the night was too dark and he killed two innocent birds instead. After losing both the bet and his beloved, August vowed to master the art of shooting and so founded the Blind Shooting Club. To prove their skills, members had to shoot through the screen. This task quickly became monotone, so club members began practicing with blind duels. The club's name thereby changed to the Blind Dueling Club. 1777, after the death of one of the members, important changes took place, including the replacement of real bullets with homemade blank cartridges. The club split into several houses and exists now in different countries to keep the tradition of the German sharpshooting alive. The Legend of Kassia. Kassia lived for the rare moments when a lover returned from long voyages at sea. He promised to one day remain on the island with her forever. With a new little spark inside of Kassia, she hoped to find her happiness. The lover promised to stay with her forever. One morning, however, he escaped at the ends of the cliff. Kassia watched her lover disappear beyond the horizon with a swan dive. She ended her life. The harbor is now believed to be cursed. But do not fear, Governor Sinclair intends to make this place safe for everyone. The Salacia Yacht Club. The islanders protested against the renovation of the yacht club as an unnecessary luxury. However, once Governor Sinclair presented a yachting tournament, the protesters reluctantly agreed that it was a necessary investment. Just as the Romans, the people of Cordona were hungry for entertainment to escape the daily burdens of ordinary life. Hail our governor. Closed mines to ruined lives. The end of the silver rush sentenced the mines to closure. Unemployed miners tried to live off their savings. Those who had no financial pillows pawned all they had. Lucky ones had families to feed. Despair and fear flooded the streets, nurturing the rise of crime. But do not spare our industrious Governor Sinclair will provide jobs for everyone. Death rails and depots. Once mining became a stable source of income, the railroad was built. Transportation of silver ore and to the seaport and back was crucial in the development of the industry. However, once the silver rush ended, the railroad became useless. There was concept that it would be rebuilt for trams, but every Icelander doubted it. Since the arrival of Governor Sinclair and the introduction of more tourists, this project could finally come to fruition. Scaladio, origin of the name. Scaladio is the oldest part of Cordona. It began as a fishing village located on a steep rock platforms. The name of the district is derived from the phrase Scala di Dio, stairway to God. As a matter of fact, even its native citizens sometimes grow tired of walking up and down it all day long. With such a unique heritage is what makes our island so precious. Please help us to preserve this from dirt and complainers. Hospitallers Maltese Falcon. During the occupation of the Malta by the French, Cordona became a temporary refuge for the Hospitallers. The Grand Master of the order thought it was unjust to abide by traditions and laws to pay tribute to the English monarch. He broke all traditions and to make sure his followers understood the message, he hid the treasure, a golden falcon, somewhere on Cordona. Governor Sinclair wants to remind the people that such a treasure, if found, remain Crown's possession and any finding must be declared to the authorities. The aqueduct. Once the power of Augustus was in his hands, one of his legates, Lemonius, decided to remain in Cordona to support the development of the island. One of his first decisions was to build an advanced aqueduct. Despite the changes in population, architecture, and the political environment, the aqueduct remains untouched. Governor Sinclair wants to launch a restoration worksite. The Ghost Hunter. A strange and inhuman hall was terrorizing Silverton by night. People believed it was the ghost of a long-dead mine worker seeking vengeance. The locals were afraid to leave their houses after dark, and some even barricaded their windows and doors. Soon after, the malignant events began occurring. Placards with a Ghost Hunter Service advertisement appeared on walls all over Silverton. Luigi was the name of the ghost hunter, and he had to talk to Cherry's airwolf for only a short while before he agreed to shoot the hunter to see him in action. However, when we arrived at Luigi's public meeting place, instead of ghost busting, he witnessed only wrecked property and traces of a brawl. I deduced instantly that Luigi had been attacked by Silverton Ghost itself. Sherlock, as always, came up with his own undeniable, as usual, arguments that the brawl was caused by an irritable local who believed that Luigi was a fraud. He followed the traces of chaos and the strong reek of alcohol through. We ended up at the ghost hunter's dirty old shack. Luigi was sleeping amongst a pile of empty bottles and ad placards. The only object that resembled a ghost hunting weapon was a handcrafted pipe capable of producing nothing but an horrifying inhuman howl. Perhaps Luigi was indeed a fraud, but that alone is no proof that there is not something inexplicable haunting the poor residents of Silverton. Silver Canary. You were roaming Minus Inn when a strange monument of an empty cage caught our attention. I suggested that we take a closer look. It turned out that the cage was supposed to hold a silver statue of a canary. It was placed there to honor the small birds that the miners would use to detect hazardous gas leaks. Long ago, the silver canary was a symbol of safety in the miners' end. Those were the times of the silver rush, and Miners End was a prospering place, attracting more and more people. It all ended when the silver mines were eventually exhausted. Soon investors lost interest in Cordona. Which caused severe unemployment and poverty on the island. The earth resources are limitless, but what's interesting is that the silver crisis mysteriously coincided with the silver canary disappearance, from being a symbol of safety and prosperity as a symbol of loss. People say that in wine lies the truth, but for Miners End, truth lies in pubs, slightly drunk. From the regulars of the Flower of Good pub, we heard the story of a man who lost his family after an accident near the mines. He failed to accept what had happened to his loved ones and moved on. By great grief he stole the canary and cast it into the sea and left the island. Some say that he committed suicide shortly after. Safety and prosperity have departed Minus End since then, seemingly not to return. Pillar of Knives. Some cruel traditions still exist in our modern world. Marja or blood vengeance is one of the most notable traditions in Cordona. People avenge their honor and blood in the most barbaric ways imaginable. Each knife in the pillar celebrates a successful revenge. It's frightening. It looks like a shrine of hatred and pain. The worst part is that people can't undo the horrific consequences of this tradition and are forced to live with them. Alonso's tricks, the infernal saw. Sawing oneself and half may require a second person inside the box to be the legs. However, Alonso uses a special contraption allowing him to curl up and avoid the saw while his feet are replaced with fakes. Alonso's trick, the marvellous tree. Amazing Alonso uses a special apparatus to make a small orange tree grow fruit before the oranges. The oranges are hidden in a secret compartment among the fake leaves. By pressing a secret button, the magician sets the device in motion. Oranges appear to grow within seconds, much to everyone's amazement. Alonso's tricks, the card butterflies. Amazing Alonso asks an audience member to sign a card of their choosing. He shuffles the deck so that the selected card remains on top. He places it inside a box which has a secret compartment containing butterflies. By pressing a secret button, the magician swaps the unsigned card for the butterflies and releases them, much to everyone's amazement. Chief Inspector Michels. Chief Inspector Michel, after 30 years on the force with explanatory service record, Chief Inspector Michel died in his bed from a heart attack. His family and friends will forever remember his brilliant mind, attention to detail, strict adherence to the word and spirit of the law, and kind heart. Chief Inspector Michel closed dozens of personal cases, including the death of the famous reporter Hector Jacobson and a mass shooting in the city. So this is some more history things about Cordona you can pick up during your gameplay as you solving cases and exploring the city, finding clues. Yeah, can subscribe, follow, reacting. Thank you for watching. I wish you all well. See you in the next video.